Yo, what's going on, guys? Alberto coming at you with a brand new video. Starting off the video with wrapping my hands. I seen a clip on Instagram of a guy who kind of wraps it around his knuckles at first and then uses that padding to put that over your knuckles to provide extra protection and padding to your knuckles. I did not look up the video prior to wrapping my hands. I kind of just remembered it and just said I'm gonna try it this time. It's definitely a lot more protection for your knuckles, so it's better for your knuckles in the sense of protection. Another thing I like about it is it almost forces you and makes you want to land your hand with the knuckles. I used to kind of just throw the punch and then not really focus on where it was landing because my whole hand felt so protected. But whenever it's just on your knuckles and emphasized, the padding there, it makes you want to, really hit and land with the knuckles. But yeah, it's pretty good. Definitely do not copy the way I wrapped them in this video. It's not the right way. I just, like I said, didn't look up the video. So I just kind of did it off of remembering it and kind of the way I wrap my hands before anyways. But this video I did 3 rounds. The first round is slipping. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm making sure it's right. Let's see. Starting with the jab. Hang on. I think it was slip counter. So the first round was slip counter, and I think this was a 5-minute round. Yeah, it's like a 5-minute round. I don't time my rounds. I kind of just go with them until I, fatigue or feel it's good enough. But the first round was slip counter. The second round, I think I was working on combinations, and the third round was hitting and then getting out of the way, whether it was backing up, moving laterally, or just pivoting. But a lot of movement in the last round, which if you guys haven't tried it, whenever you're hitting a punching bag, it's a lot easier with an actual punching bag. Unfortunately, this is all I have to work with. Look at me tripping on the carpet. But whenever you punch, do not stay there. You're gonna obviously fire return to you after you punch. It's the natural instinct of your opponent to hit you after you've hit him, unless you've hurt him. Then he probably don't want none of that. But yeah, try it. It really makes you work and think about it a lot. Once I get to the third round, you'll see I'm moving probably exaggerate. I don't even know what the word is. I'm exaggerating how much I'm moving out of the way. I think I take 2 big steps back, or I just completely do a 360 pivot. But the point is, punch, 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 get out of the way. Never want to sit there after you've landed a 3-hit combo just so you can get hit with a 2-piece as well. But that's pretty much for the training part. I'm gonna talk a little bit about upcoming fights and past fights that, to be honest, disappointed. If you know what I'm talking about, Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence. I did not pay for the pay-per-view. I was going to, just because it was kind of a pretty hyped fight, and I knew Errol Spence was gonna win. Everybody pretty much knew it. Mikey Garcia was the underdog, even though he said he didn't feel like the underdog. When you're going up 2 weight classes, it's even if he said I'm sure he wasn't scared, but it was always in the back of his head that I'm moving up 2 weight classes. It's like Errol Spence said, there's weight classes for a reason, and it definitely showed. But like Errol Spence said, he was not really trying to go out there and be a pushover kind of. He was using his skills and boxing him, and he pretty much took Mikey Garcia to school. So that I find it ironic that he was saying that he sees Errol Spence, he sees him and Errol Spence, or it's like looking in a mirror, because they're so. He said they were so similar to each other, which was pretty much what happened that night. Earl was coming at Mikey, I guess the same way that Mikey usually comes at people. It's just tactical technician. He had the footwork, he had everything. He would punch and move and the power was just, you could tell it was there. Mikey was saying he wasn't getting hurt, and I mean, I believe him, because he never really, I never seen him in any position where everybody was like, oh, he's about to knock him out. I did not see that at all that night, but he was definitely eating some big shots that probably would have, floored a lot of fighters. Another thing that I do agree with, I think somebody said, Reddit, that, not Reddit, I read it, that he didn't trade with Errol Spence, which for the most part is true. I think Mikey Garcia was for the most part just trying to catch him with a really well-placed, well-timed counter that he could just not find all night. But as far as trading, I mean, Mikey's just way too smart for that. Like I said, it was in the back of his head that Errol was, more powerful and just bigger overall to be sitting there and, trading with somebody who, is probably going to knock you out if you give him the chance. So, like some of the announcers were saying, that he was just kind of trying to survive to the 12th round. That I kind of, agree with that a little bit, but I still think Mikey really did all he could. I mean, it was really a mismatch. But that's, what I think about that fight. Fights that are coming up, everybody's talking about it. Canelo and Jacobs. Okay, so Canelo's fought and, arguably beat GGG twice. I think he just won the second one. Just in overall aggression. The first one, people say GGG got robbed on the second one, but the first one was like the clear, like stolen from GGG. Canelo came in, I think, way too big. I think he was trying to make up for the weight because of I think he was moving up in weight, right, for GGG. But yeah, that first fight, I mean, that was probably one of, like, next to Mayweather Canelo, that was probably Canelo's second, like, worst night, I would say. He landed some good shots that night, but just the fact that GGG kept coming the entire time, took his best shots, and he was the one that was pushing forward and landing the jab and just, pretty much doing everything, and Canelo, couldn't really do much to him. I'll give the first one to GGG, but it's boxing. They were, obviously not going to give it to him just because, politics, whatever. The second one, a lot of people still say that GGG won it. It was definitely a lot more closer, but I still give it to Canelo. And then GGG beat Jacobs. I can't remember if it was a split decision or if it was... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a split decision. And I haven't even really... I watched a little bit of that fight. I didn't even finish watching it. But a lot of people say that Jacobs won that fight. Canelo's definitely got a great fight ahead of him. This is going to be a good test for him. We're going to see if he's actually, serious about staying at the weight that he's moving up to. If I'm not mistaken, he's moving up to fight him. Or... I can't even fucking remember what weight Canelo is. He was 154 for the longest, I think, and then he's moving up to 160, I think, now, and staying there. I don't think he'll go up to 168. I don't see that, not anytime soon, anyways. Maybe in a couple of years. But yeah, he's moving up, fighting Jacobs, which, like I said, I don't really know too much about Jacobs, so I really shouldn't be talking about it. But I'm still gonna talk about it. Canelo is, like, every time we see him, he gets better and better. He's got, obviously, the counters. He's got the power. He's got the footwork. He's just a freaking animal, The fight of the face game right now, in boxing, anyways. Jacobs, I think he's definitely going to give him some problems, especially with the height. I'm not sure if he's got more reach or not, but... I still see Canelo, I don't want to say a knockout, but I think Canelo is going to win this a lot easier and a lot more, it's going to be a lot more obvious than his second fight against GGG. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Jacobs, like I said, it's kind of bad that I'm saying that because I don't really keep up with Jacobs. I just know he's a good fighter, and but I'm gonna give it to GGG. I mean Canelo. All right. Then we have Gane versus Crawford. Not gonna order that fight. I'm just not gonna order that fight at all. I would love if it had been on ESPN Plus, I would have watched that no problem. But I cannot. I don't think I can do it. I didn't buy Mikey and Spence, so I'm definitely not gonna buy Crawford versus Khan. Although some of the undercards, if I'm not mistaken, Teofimo Lopez is supposed to be on it, and that I would rather have seen that fight than, honestly, Khan and Crawford. I think for that fight, I feel like Khan has the skills to win a lot of the fights that he lost, but he tries. I think what's the word I'm looking for? I think he tries to he takes too many risks, I guess, because he got caught with Canelo. But if you've seen that fight, he was freaking, outboxing him. He was just too damn fast for Canelo. Canelo was getting tapped, probably not a lot of power in him, but he was getting tapped, and then Khan was gone. Like he couldn't even see him. Canelo was like, what the hell just happened? But same thing with Crawford. I think Khan could probably walk away with a 12 round decision if he were to box all night. I don't know if his camp or his trainer doesn't tell him to, or if that's just his kind of fighting style to get in there and eventually end up getting caught. Because that's really his worst. The worst thing that happens to him. He just keeps getting caught. And I always wonder if he trains his chin or his neck or any kind of part of his muscle, to not get knocked out. Which I mean, that may be just natural gift, I guess. You have to either have it or you don't. You get knocked out or you don't. I do find it funny that people call him a glass chin, though, but they've never stepped in the ring with him or anybody of the caliber that he stepped in. If you get knocked out by Canelo, that's not a glass chin. You just got hit by a fucking pit bull, bro. But yeah, Canelo, Khan, Crawford, I give it to Crawford just because I feel he's just, like you said, people want to put him in the number one pound for pound. I don't think he's number one just because he just doesn't have the resume, which is another thing that I find hilarious, how people want to put Crawford as the number one pound for pound, but he doesn't have, I guess the resume like, say, Canelo. I know he unified the 140 division, but honestly, I think I found out about Crawford the first time was when he fought, when he was moving up to welterweight and he fought and whooped Jeff Horn. That was the first time I ever heard about Crawford. So, I guess, that kind of, to me anyways, that doesn't say a lot about the 140 division. I don't know who he beat for those belts. I don't know who they were. And I keep up with boxing pretty frequently. But I didn't see or hear anything about that. But now I'm definitely keeping my eyes on him because he's, in the welterweights now. So he's gonna run away with that win easy. Him versus Spence, I think, is a fight that a lot of people would love to see. That one would be a great fight. I think both of them would be, a really good test for each other. Iron sharpens iron. That's going to be a great fight coming up. Spence also wants to fight Pacquiao. But I just seen today, speaking about it on Instagram, of Pacquiao facing Thurman, maybe? I don't know. Sometime. I don't know why people make fun of him so much. Bro, if you get hurt, you're not going to want to fight. People want to say, oh, you're not a champion. Like, my dude had surgery and people were, making him, or trying to make him fight. Like, bro, I want you to fight. If I had, my shoulders are fucked up, and I don't even like sparring whenever it's, fucked up. But, yeah, it's just, you gotta love the haters. But, yeah, that fight, I think I'd rather see Thurman versus Pacquiao first. I kind of think it kind of sucks that people are actually trying to fight Pacquiao now, because my dude is 40 years old, man. I wish he would just retire. Honestly, I mean, it's like everybody says, he has nothing to prove, and he's 60 fights in. What is it, 39 knockouts? Dude's done it all. The only 8 division champion in the world. I think he should just go back to the Philippines and just chillax, bro. Just chillax. But I think he'll probably fight. I want to say no more than 3 times. I would say 2 more. 3 would be like top. Because if he loses to Thurman, I don't see anybody really wanting to fight him anymore. I think if Thurman beats him, then after that it would either be Thurman against Spence or Crawford. But if he were to beat Thurman, then it would definitely set up the Spence and Pacquiao fight, which at that point I think Spence would retire Pacquiao, and there would be no shame in that. There would be no shame at all. And quick little last few things I'm gonna talk about. Upcoming fighters, at least for me, the top fighters that I like to look at right now, or not top, but top prospects. Ryan Garcia got another knockout just this past weekend. Teofimo Lopez killing the game. I mean, absolutely killing the game. I actually think he's the #1 prospect. He don't call himself a prospect. He's a contender. And I can't say shit about it. My dude hits hard. But yeah, I would say Teofimo, Ryan Garcia. Another small compared to them two, I guess. Carlos Balderas. I follow him because he's from the same town that I was born in. That dude. Who's the other one? Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson's killing it. Devin Haney. That dude is so freaking quick, man. Every time I watch his fights, I feel like it's not even like real how fast he is, man. That dude's the definition of hit and not get hit. But all those people coming up, obviously Davis. I don't really, put Davis with them because Davis is already a champion and, pretty established. These other ones are still coming up trying to get their title shots. Some other ones, I guess, Josh Kelly. I haven't really been keeping up with him. The time zones are different when he fights. They're kind of a lot earlier, and I forget sometimes to watch him fight. But he's another really good fighter coming up. But yeah, that's crazy. Let me know in the comments what fighters you guys are keeping up with or want to see, fight in the future. I know the Davis and Garcia fight is something that everybody wants to see. But I think he would fight Rolly first. He should fight Rolly first, knock his ass out, and then maybe set up the Davis fight. I still don't think that. I don't think he's ready for Davis, man. Ryan's got the power. Like nobody, he could knock out Davis if Davis gets sloppy. But I think Davis just has, too much more skill. Too much more. That even makes sense. Yeah, he's got more skill than him at this point, anyways. Maybe if Ryan was like 23, give him another 3 years maybe, then yeah, set that fight up. But for right now, Ryan, chill, bro. Chill. You're killing the game. Just chill. But hope you guys like this video. Peace out. See you in the next one.